And by the way, I'm very pleased in a kind of an odd way, or perverse way, that in my book, Towers of Deception, the Media Cover-Up of 9/11, ABC is one of the 5 case histories I give of terrible distortion in the news and otherwise. And that part of my book is entitled The Anniversary Waltz. It's devoted to ABC's news special, in quotes, upon the first anniversary of 9/11. Now, at that time, the ABC News Department alone provided the propaganda. And in my book, I write here, in part, this news special is typical of 9/11 news specials on all the major TV networks, on all anniversaries of 9/11 for 4 years. The lead-in suggests a full and accurate account is to follow. What follows is neither full nor accurate. Carefully selected details mask other details just as carefully omitted. Any suggestion of doubt, any suggestion the 9/11 crime case is not closed, that the facts are not all in, that more investigation is needed, that contradictions exist, that people exist who are not satisfied with the official story. All this is absent. And further on, to quote the piece I did on ABC, this news special is at one with the docudramas that redefy the official story and avoid questioning. The difference is that the docudramas do it with professional actors and documentary-type production values. The news specials do it with real persons. That's a quote in my book, such as Condoleezza Rice playing the roles. And both blend into a seamless reality. My conclusion, the seriousness of the cover-up of a crime ranks very closely with committing the crime itself. It's as simple as ABC. Now, I do have some fresh news, which I just received from Toronto this morning. Sometime after 9 tonight, you may want to log on to the net, and I'll repeat this later, and go to cbc.ca/Sunday, all lowercase. I'll repeat that as I say. And there you will find posted full transcripts of interviews with Dylan Avery, Bob McIlvaine, and David Ray Griffin. And perhaps more valuably for us, with Jeff Meigs of Popular Mechanics, and one of the all-time masters of cover-up, Lee Hamilton. Now, while disappointingly, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation program, which aired first this morning and will air again in revised form tonight, all over Canada, while this CBC program uses clips from all these interviews, it is, regrettably, another intellectually dishonest production, which more or less, I told Dylan about this, more or less sets up Dylan, Bob McIlvaine, and David Ray Griffin, who have the first word, in order to give lengthy last word on everything to Hamilton and Meigs. And there is no ameliorating further remarks in the script itself. I am told, and I haven't seen this, by a producer I know inside the CBC, that the full transcript of the full-hour interview with Hamilton, from which selected clips were taken, is extremely revealing. Even the ultimate slicksters can slip. Sometimes mountain goats lose their footing, and eventually one might hope their bones will be found at the base of the mountain of deceit, which is their normal perch. Now that URL again, it's easy to practically remember. It's cbc.ca/Sunday, all lowercase. It's difficult to find a whole lot positive in all this, but I think there is a sort of constant, continuing silver lining. What are we for minutes? Thank you. It's this. While the media, with occasional exceptions, remain adamantly resistant to acknowledging any of the brutal facts that blow the official story out of the water, the general public increasingly knows the score. We know the polls. They've been mentioned here several times already today. So, cognitive dissonance is reaching the snapping point, surely. Remember the alleged new video the Pentagon released back in May? It wasn't even real video. It wasn't 30 frames per second. It allegedly showed an airliner hitting the Pentagon. News anchors, with their varying versions of assured authority, looked millions of us in the eye and pronounced solemnly that these new images of an airliner would put to rest the conspiracy theories. They then rolled the tape, which showed that that's right, folks, no airliner. It was amazing to watch, was it not? Personally, I think this was a beta test by the PsyOps gang in the Pentagon to see how far cognitive dissonance could be stretched within newsrooms and with viewers. Well, the newsrooms passed the test with flying colors. They proved they're on a par with their counterparts in abject third world dictatorships and banana republics. No surprise there. But the polling aside where people did among viewers probably is valuable to them. Don't think that they'll do constant polling of the public pulse, giving clues as to how much more wool can be pulled over the public's eyes before they have to maybe bring down the hammer, declare martial law, and round up those who refuse the brainwashing of the trained SEALs on TV and in the newspapers and ship us off to those detention centers that are being built all over the place but the media are barely, if at all, reporting on. I get some of my information about these detention centers from the business pages of the New York Times, in stories about the rising stock price of corporations such as Wackenhut. And it reminds me of I.G. Farben's rising profits in Nazi Germany, due in part to its production of Zyklon B gas, used to kill Jews before the gold from their teeth and jewelry were removed prior to their being burned in crematoria. The gold went to the International Bank of Settlements in allegedly neutral Switzerland to help bankroll Hitler's war machine, which your current president's grandfather, Prescott, would be fully aware of as one of Hitler's prime financial enablers. But I digress. The current spate of 9/11 print and broadcast specials can be divided into essentially, two categories. One is hit pieces against 9/11 truth, and the other is variations on the theme of the official story. For instance, how the families of victims are managing, how America used to be held in high esteem and what happened, and how the war on terror is going, etc., etc., etc. But because the sometimes unarticulated or sometimes articulated major premise embedded in all these pieces is the official story, these are just carriers of the mental virus, however diverting they may otherwise be. Now, solution orientation. Keep on deconstructing the media. Keep on writing letters to the editor. Keep on phoning phone-in shows. Trying to establish contacts with people within the media, mainstream or alternative, that you feel are honest and truly open-minded. Provide them with key information, follow-up, and so on. And you know what? I'm going to absolutely abide by my time, which means I could not start on the left gatekeepers. It would be an abortion because I just get 1 minute into it and have to stop. And I'll just, oh, I got an idea. Buy my book. There's a 15,000-word chapter titled The Shame of Noam Chomsky and the Gatekeepers of the Left. Thank you.